And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, also asks, which do you prefer? A class that covers... Sorry, I was just checking something. A class that covers both physical and magical attacks, a class that covers multiple sides of weapon triangle, or a class that specializes in one weapon type only. Well, definitely not the weapon type only one. I like classes that have that variation. I got nothing against classes that don't, like I like Swordmasters, but I like the variation. In terms of which one I prefer though, I'd say in general, I like it when they cover different aspects of the weapon triangle, because it gives them their versatility and it allows you to be just more free-flowing with the unit. Ones that can cover both the, whatchamacallits are good as well, like Malagnites, they're great, but usually they're a lot more balanced and they really dominate, whereas weapon triangle units can still do really well. Like for instance, generals can do axes and, well, and also in Sacred Stones they can do fucking, they can do axes and lances most of the time, and I think they can do swords. And like Great Knights could do all weapons. Paladins used to be able to do all weapons, even though they are more balanced. Like Wyvern Lords do lances. Well, they're lances and axes or lances and swords, one of the two. Same way Falcon Knights. So generally, I prefer weapon triangle, but I'm not against magic either. Again, if they can work both ways, great. But I'm generally more weapon triangle. Again, because it gives that unit the versatility to go up against just about anyone. One of my favorite examples was Perry in Conquest, recent playthrough. Like, she like, because of her weapon triangle levels, like, and she covered everything, I just gave her a killer of everything and she was wiped. She was really fucking good. It's like, killer lance, killer axe, killer sword, fuck them all up. Okay, and, yep. So next question. And now I've got to play Echoes. If you, as you are, became a Fire Emblem unit, what class would you most likely be? So if it's saying me, not Blazing Light thing, just me. Well, based on my physique and body structure, I'd say I'd most likely be a Myrmidon or a Mercenary. Just because I consider myself very well-rounded and well-built. I mean, when you guys see the face reveal, you can determine for yourself, so I'm not going to strip naked in front of all of you and show you my exposed torso. Oh yeah, no one else appears in their houses, it's just get extra stuff. But that's what I say I'm most likely to be. Like, I wouldn't be a knight because I'm not massive. But I consider myself a mercenary thing because I consider myself quite fast. Fast and well built, so mercenary and Myrmidon. Okay, and after that, next question is, what are your thoughts on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon if you've been keeping up? The only thing I've seen of Ultra Sun and Moon is, and of course, Sane is being, as always, hitting on every single person possible. Though I do quite like this support, because Sane starts out with, like, wanting to hit on Isadora. Then Isadora's like, you know what, if you actually train with me and make it like that, I might consider, I mean, she's kind of playing him on, but she might consider doing that. But Sane ultimately, like, alright, fair enough, you know. So it's an interesting way to work around Sane's affection. I think it's kind of clever, you know, Isadora's clever. She ain't, you know, she's onto his shit. After Ultra Sun and Moon, the only thing I've been keeping up with is the trailers, and so far, I'm not interested in it at all. It doesn't help that, and this is going to tie into one of the later questions, I'm not that big of a fan of Gen 7. I still think it's, you know, it's Pokemon's fan, it's still a wonderful game, just Gen 7 I'm generally not a big fan, of. This one doesn't look to be adding much, so honestly, no, I really couldn't care less about it. Which is a shame, because Black 2 is so much better than Black 1, and fucking hell, Black 2 is like one of my favorite Pokemon games. So it's like Ultra Sun and Moon, if that, I mean, maybe that will be the case, but from what I've seen, it doesn't look to be. And after that, we have... I'm just scrolling through. Okay, next question is, what kind of lore do you want for the next Fire Emblem game? Like, what are their character traits, who are they, their background, and what is it they have to overcome? Well, again, I kind of have this idea for my own Fire Emblem character, same with the villain. The lore I'd go for is one who, you know, like, they're trying to live up to, like, either their kingdom or their parents' reputation. Starts kind of typical and stuff like that. They're kind of like, they want it, because, like, let's say, you know, maybe they have a sibling or something like that who's really thinking they're trying to do the same. But by doing so, and, like, as they go further into the game, they see the reality of things, like, of the real world. Like, say they're just trying to, like, be the best fighter, protect the kingdom, but when they go around doing stuff and hurting people, it's like, okay, maybe this isn't, like, the best thing, or maybe the way we do things isn't right. and by doing that, you know, and I think a big thing would be with this type of character would be that their actions have severe consequences. Like, they think what they're doing is right just to, like, appease the people they know closest, but then later on that really bites them in the ass because, you know, they didn't think too well, they were just trying to do it for glory. And they got to realize by the end, like, you know, our way of life isn't how it should be. I've got to look at things at a different perspective. Like, even the people I admired, maybe I shouldn't be admiring them, or at least I should consider other things. That's the type of character I'd like. I think would make for an interesting Lord, because he'd kind of, like, it wouldn't be a bad guy, he'd just be put on the wrong path, but you'd understand why he feels this way. And kind of like, you know how, like, he has a mentality like this, how it should work, but then because when they experience the real world, they're like, okay, you know, it's just coming to the realization of things and seeing that, you know, what you thought was wrong, right all the time, maybe wrong. You know, it begs the question. I mean, that'll be interesting. Also, this is an interesting support between Osmond and Dorcas, because Osmond definitely sees potential in Dorcas, it's like really cool, but Dorcas is kind of a simple and doesn't want anything to do with that. So it's kind of cool. You know, they've got the beefcakes. Then we also noticed in the GBA era, fighters and knights like to support. Like, Gilliam and Garcia have one. But that's because Gilliam's a knight and Garcia has a reputation, so that's kind of what's got going for it. Again, this is another reason I like Weapon Triangle. Look at Isadora just covering everything. It's like, yep, axes, swords, lances, I got it all. Okay. And this person asks, does Pala land on your list of Pegasus Knights? By favourite, no. Honestly, I don't know if any of the Pegasus sisters do. Not to put the Pegasus sisters down, I like them. But Pegasus Knights are my second favourite class, and there's a lot of really strong ones. Like, Pala, Catria, and Est are all good. But then let's take into consideration these types of people. Shana, Fiora, Vanessa, Tana, Marcia, Sigrun and Tanith, Sumia, Cordelia, Cynthia, Sumia, Hanoka, Sumia, Claire, Sumia. You get what I'm saying? There's so much steep competition. Like, they might scrape one of them might scrape the top 10, even then it wouldn't be Palo, it would probably be Catria or something like that. But, like, you know, those three have steep competition. So Pala, I doubt it, but I do like Pala. I like her. It's just, oh, and, you know, Sheeta's up there as well. So I like her, it's just a case of the competition so fucking steep. It's like with Wyvern Riders. Again, Pegasus, the flying units, man, they have steep competition. Fucking hell, and now I've got to play Blazing Sword. But we are playing Blazing Sword. Shut up. Level up for Isadora. Oh yeah, if I remember, she caps speed. Yeah, she's a fast bugger. Next question. Out of all the Fire Emblem games that you've played so far, which have the least to best endings? So least best to best endings. Okay, well, least favorite ending, or like either ending or ending part, Awakening. Mainly because I always thought the Grimmer twist was dumb. It just kind of ends and the whole thing just didn't really care for it. After that, it's Fates because, Radiant Dawn. no, that's critical. Fates because generally, like, I'd love to see the because the problem is, Birthright and Conquest aren't canon. But an aftermath, like a real look into the aftermath would have been great, but we don't get that. And Revelation's just kind of typical happy ending fare. And even then, the twist at the end of Revelations is fucking stupid. Like, really damn dumb. So Fates is just a case of, like, it just kind of ended. It doesn't really feel like a resolution. And the ones that did aren't canon. Like, I would have loved to see how Conquest and Birthright went from then on out. Specifically Conquest. I would have loved to see how Conquest would have played out afterwards, but they're not canon, so it sucks. Then it's Shadow Dragon, only because it's just Shadow Dragon. It's not bad, it just kind of does its job. Honestly, Sacred Stone's after that, because Sacred Stone's ends fine, and it's a sad end for, like, Lion and stuff, but then, like, when it ends, like, the whole thing is just kind of like, I don't know, I feel like everything just kind of stops, really. Like, when I get to the end of Sacred Stone, I don't know, it gives me this weird feeling, like, there's resolution, but not huge, not super gratifying. I don't know what it is, like, you know, I have to play Sacred Stones again to fully pin down what I'm trying to feel, but it's just something weird about Sacred Stones. After that, there's Echoes. Because Echoes, again, it just kind of, it ends and it ends nicely, but not much else than that. I mean, the whole arc is cool, but yeah, again, it just kind of like, it ends and it's cool. After that, it would be, after that, Binding Blade, I think. Yeah, Binding Blade I like because you have the aftermath with, you know, the Divine Dragon and stuff. I mean, the other characters, there isn't much to it, but I do quite like that. Though I wish there was more to do with Guinevere. But that's one of the main things that gives it a strong ending, I think. And also, I think the ending is just cool when you find out about the dragons and stuff. I think that's a really cool end to the game. After that, I really like Blazing Sword's ending because you definitely see, like, it definitely feels like you've been on this really great journey with this characters, and you'll see this when we reach the end game. And I just like how everyone's, like, the different arcs end, either Hector's or Ellawood's one, and also how it foreshadows Blazing Sword, Binding Blade. Blazing Sword foreshadows Blazing Sword. It just feels really nicely wrapped up. Radiant Dawn, even though it has my favorite end game, has my second favorite ending, because the whole thing is really, really nice, especially if you get the full ending. It is really nice, and they go on about, and there is just, like, nice stuff about, like, maybe what goes on in the future with the characters and stuff like that. So it does wrap up things nicely. But Path of Radiance has my favorite ending, because I like how the ending not only foreshadows Radiant Dawn, but shows how, like, gives off the ideas to repercussions. Like, because it's a really cool ending, like, you know, we take back Crimea with a mercenary band that started from nothing, and we took down Ashtar. That's great. But then at the end, Sephiroth's like, this is gonna inspire people, this is gonna change the world, and it does. So that thing, they, like, that Sephiroth's last line is pretty much, or last quote, is pretty much what makes the ending, which pretty much, you know, sells the ending for me. I really like it because it does so. Gotta play Awakening. It does show, like, you know, because of what I did. Yeah, it's heroic, but now, like, could you think about it? If everyone rose up like that, monarchies might be toppled. Like, there might not be no rulers. Like, they're like, what if, like, again, maybe the civil war in Crimea. It's like, we don't like the queen. Well, Ike was able to take down a thing. We should do it. You know, maybe that was a reference to it. So something like that. You know, I really like that. I like how Path of Radiance, you felt the consequences. Also asks, have you watched Data Live? If so, what are your thoughts? No, I haven't watched it. I don't know much about it. Might give it a look. Tell me if it's any good. You know, should I watch it? Next question. Of the 4 series in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, which one do you personally prefer? Ruby. I love Ruby. Ruby's a great, you know, anime, even though it's kind of 3D. I love Ruby. It's awesome. I know I've only seen it recently, but goddamn, I'm really, really, really like Ruby. So yeah, I like BlazBlue and stuff, but I haven't played Persona, and I don't really think much of the other series. Oh, that's strength. Oh no, HP actually. You just got a lot of HP. Next one. How would you feel if Nintendo ever made a Smash Bros. Warriors? The idea is cool, but I doubt it would happen. It would be cool, like, to see all the characters doing, like, crazy stuff. But it would also be weird because one thing I like about Warriors games is when they take stuff from their franchises and incorporate it into the Warriors formula. Like Hyrule Warriors that was using items in the adventure mode. Titan Warriors literally had you fighting on Titan, doing the 3D maneuver gear. Oh yeah, one thing I do with Lyn is I boost her resistance to, like, ridiculous levels and just go in and fuck up Limstella. Because yeah, Limstella, like Sonya, really beastly stats. So, you know, Lim's like, that's why it went down from like 20 something just to 7, yeah. And then she's like, I ain't having none of your shit. You can't mess with me, I'm Lyn. And even with 59%, she didn't critical the second time. Oh well. Again, these morphs are fucking sturdy as shit. What was I gonna do? Yeah, Smash Bros. Warriors. Yeah, I like, I don't know how unless they could incorporate some Smash stuff, like maybe trophies, or like a classic mode, or something like, or classic style mode, like, I don't know. Maybe instead of it, figure characters, you launch them. But, a Smash Bros. One is cool just to get all the Nintendo characters fighting. Though some, it will be certainly weird, like Olimar Dynasty Warriors, like Pikmin Dynasty Warriors, that'd be very, very weird. I'll tell you right now, that'd be incredibly weird. But yeah, Smash Bros. Warriors, cool, but doubt it. I prefer if it was just confined to a single franchise. Oh, here come the respawning units. But I couldn't care less, because, yeah, they're all standard classes. And Silver Sword away! This one's interesting. When she talks about, like, she knows she's not real, nothing is, everything's constructed, but then actually says at the end, so is the sorrow, so she did feel something. She knows it's not real, but she did feel something. She felt that sorrow. It's like, yeah, interesting. Yeah. Do you plan on getting Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon? If so, which star do we get this time? Yeah, like I said, skill and strength currently caps. Speed is going to cap. As of now, I don't plan on getting it anytime soon. I haven't even beat Gen 7, so I'm not planning on it. If I was to get a different starter, I'd probably go with the water one, only because I already have a fire type and a grass type I really like. Whereas I couldn't find a good... I swear to God, I could not find a good... Aside from that water bug type, I could not find a good water type that I really liked in Gen 7. Like I meant water type that was exclusive to Gen 7. Gotta play Awakening again. Because I had a Slowbro. You know, it's just cool. I like Slowbro a lot, but that's a Gen 1 Pokemon. I want to use Gen 7s. In fact, I have 2 Gen 1s on my team, Gengar and Slowbro. Then again, I can't complain because it's fucking Gengar and Slowbro. Sexy, sexy Pokemon. Okay. Next question. How would you make the Black Fang more memorable? I would make them more memorable by showing more of their heroic deeds, because it's supposed to know that they are heroic and stuff. But we won't see enough of it if you ask me. And also have the 4 Fangs be more present. Like, we don't see the 4 Fangs until much later. So by seeing them more in the story, I think they'd have more of a presence. You could see how dangerous they can be. And I think, you know, that would make them more memorable. This support's really cool as well, because it's about Ninian's treasure, which is the pendant that her mother had when she died. It's got the blood on. And it's like, you know, it's about coming to terms with things and how much she trusts Jafar. Very, very nice. I love these two. After that, here we go. What kind of lore would you want in FE16? Pretty much like the way I described, but one thing I would like is if we get a female lord that's a lance user. I think that would be cool. Just because, like, I could see a lance-wielding female lord, I'm not trying to sound, like, misogynistic or anything, but axe-wielding female lord would also, that sound kind of weird, only because I doubt... Like, to be fair, you don't associate, like, nobility when it comes to fighting with axes, unless it's, like, a big general guy. But you associate swords or maybe spears, so I can see her being a lance user just because that'd be interesting. So I think that'd be cool. Not to put down, like, women can't use axes and stuff. No. You know, Charlotte uses an axe, that's fucking awesome. And Camilla uses an axe. It's just, I'd like a lance user because I feel it fit more of the princess archetype. So yeah, stuff like that, you know, and the way I described to that character I did before. So yeah, that's pretty much the way I'd go with. If Heroes did a crossover with another franchise, game or anime, which franchise would you like to see? So if Fire Emblem Heroes did like you had the same type of style for another type of franchise, Arslan, the Heroic Dose of Arslan, because it's basically like Fire Emblem, so you could easily do stuff. Berserk, because I'd love to see it be like that, a Berserk mobile game. Go Guts, just fuck them all up. Xenoblade would also be pretty cool. Like, again, you have like Shulk, Rhine, and so on, just doing stuff. That'd be pretty cool. And, you know, what's his face? Now I'm gonna play Shadow Dragon. I don't want to play Shadow Dragon. What was it? Vicky, and so on. Zelda as well. You know, you got Link, Zelda, Midna, and all that jazz. Pokemon would be interesting as well, even though you got all those types to cover, so... Yeah, that'd be interesting, because Pokemon, they already did kind of a Fire Emblem Pokemon crossover, Pokemon Conquest. And I'd also like My Hero Academia one, that'd be really funny. We have different... Your hero's ability is basically color-based, so you're like... You know, yeah, this is also one of the places you can go. You could buy stuff here, like a Fail Contract or an Earth Seal or an Ocean Seal, but they cost so much goddamn money. I'm just like, nah. I'm surprised the Earth Seal costs less, considering you can make everyone upgrade, but Ocean Seal's only one type. It's weird. Come on. Okay. And next person asks, if Awakening were to have a prequel, would you prefer it to tell the story of the first Exalt and the shit that happens in their lifetime, or the Pigeon side of the war waged by Chrome's father? I prefer the Chrome's father one and stuff like that. Because again, he's known to be like a massive warmonger and really evil, so I want to see how they were affected, why they lost, and how this affects like Chrom and Emmerbrain. I would have that, you know, that's one of the prequels suggestions I wanted for top 5 Fire Emblem games I want. That would have been really, really great. Because, you know, that was one of the most interesting parts of Awakening, where, yeah, you're the hero, but your dad was a fucking asshole. So, and the people you're fighting, they were ruined by your father, so I'd like to see more of that. We also get more backstory here. Basically, what happened, like why Niels and Nin were captured by Nergal and all that jazz. Same person asked, do you think Awakening should have a prequel to flesh out the 2,000-year time skip in the history of its world? If so, is there a specific point you want explored? Actually, yeah, because I remember Tiki's support. She even talked about 1,000 years before Marth or 1,000 years after Marth. There's Exalt who resembles Chrom. So something in that timeline would have been cool. Maybe going into like what happens, like maybe Tiki had to be woken up again during those during that time, or like how the legend of Marth continued down the time, or like I don't know, like a hero before Marth even existed, or maybe the origins of the Fire Emblem. So yeah, stuff like that would be cool. No, flesh out more of Awakening's world, and the Shadow Dragon world I think is fine, because that one's got the most lore going for it, because that one has Awakening, technically Fates, but I'm not counting that, Awakening, Shadow Dragon, Mystery, and Echoes. I all consider, you know, they're all definitely canonically, like, if you want to pull connections to other games, fine, but those ones are most obvious, have connections. That's 4 Fire Emblem games that are connected. You can definitely pull make history out of that. Next one. So, I'm sure we all agree on Blazing Sword and Binding Blade if a remade needed to be one game. So the real questions are: should skills and skill inheritance be brought back for the remake? You know, Gale Force, Astra, and stuff being inherited. That depends. I reckon they'd have to balance the skills, because if you start Binding Blade and you give Roy and Lena and stuff OP skills, they're just gonna wipe the game. So maybe their skills can be inherited upon promotion. So like, once Lena becomes Thingy, she gets maybe one of Hector's skills or her mother's skills. Same with Roy. So skills I don't mind, and I like skills because skills I always like in Fire Emblem game. That'd be cool. Just give characters more to do, and you know, make things more unpredictable. So yeah, I'd like that, especially because also I think it'll be fine, skill inheritance, because not every character in Binding Blade has a parent. It's only a select few, so I think that would be fine. You know, not everyone in Binding Blade had something to do with something in Blazing Sword. Some of them are just there for Binding Blade. And also, could the story be expanded on, since now we have 2 generations to play into one another? Yes, we can get further ties to the Scouring. Like, Binding Blade could definitely go into the dragon side of it with John and stuff. We can go further into that, whereas Blazing Sword could go into the more human side of it, because we had Athos and we see like Roland, so we can see it from 2 perspectives. We see it from the side of the heroes, and we see it from the side of the we see it from the side of the humans, and we see it from the side of the dragons. So that'd be really interesting, but also like more stuff that went on between both games. Maybe we see more about Sephiroth's change, maybe how his relationship to some of the generals. Like, I'll actually see him and Murdoch interact more. What happens going on with Eliwood and Hector during that time? How was Lyn involved? What happened to some of the other characters? And so on. You know, stuff that happened in between I'd definitely like to see expanded upon. Next question. Hey Blaze, who is your favourite anime character? Mine's Lelouch v Britannia. Well, I have a few. I don't know which one's my ultimate favourite, but Lelouch is definitely one of them. I think he's he's one of the best written characters ever. He's fantastically written. I love his arc, I love his personality. I love how, even though he does some villainous acts, he does have a conscience. I love what he goes through. I just love him. And here's a bridge version, it's hilarious. Alright, this one not one of the best written, but Esdeath is one of my favourite anime characters, just because she's a villain that not only is evil, but is interesting, is cool, is relaxed. You see so many different sides of her personality. She's a ton of fun. She's really attractive. She's just like, she's badass. Esdeath is like one of the most likable characters, even though she shouldn't be. I love Esdeath, even though I shouldn't, but fucking hell, there's just so much to like. Another one is Gohan, but that's more nostalgic because I watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z growing up and I really liked Gohan. Because I do think, if you actually think about it, Dragon Ball Z is not Goku's story. It's Gohan's. Like the way, because at the end, I mean, the ending was meant to be he kills, like Cell was the end. He surpasses his father. So I was always under the impression that Gohan was the main character and I really did like his arc and how he evolves. So Gohan from a nostalgic standpoint. I also really like Edward Elric. I think he's really, really well done. You know, really remorseful character, but goes on quite the journey. And, you know, he's also one of the more... He is quite obnoxious and has, like, annoying personality traits, but I think that's what makes him more interesting, because heroes would be like that sometimes. And the part's finished, but let's quickly wrap this up. Ryuk from Death Note, because I love how he's just, like, in the middle of everything. He's not good guy or the bad guy. He's just, you know... He's just there as an onlooker. Butter from Ghost in the Shell I really like because he got a lot of... He gets like probably the most character development and I really like him. Spike Spiegel because Spike is just really damn cool and his episode focus ones are the best. Vash Stampede because he is also a fantastically written character. I love his arc of heroism, all that he goes through, but he stays true to his morals and he's just really well done. He can be both dark and light. Guts is great. I love his arc, his journey, how much of a badass he is. And this one is definitely pure, unadulterated, no, personal bias, craziness. I absolutely love Yui from Sword Art Online because say what you want about that series. Yes, it's not perfect. There's stuff I hate about it. It's a series that could have been so much better. Yui's the best thing to come out of that fucking show. I love her so much. Well, Yui in the action scenes. Also, finish up, the same person. Are you watching Gamers? And if you are, what do you think about it? I am watching it. I think it's alright in the sense that the stuff when it talks about actual games and the passion some of the characters have, I get that. It does feel genuine. Everything else about the show is so forced. Like, the romance is sometimes forced. The amount of misunderstandings is forced. The comedy's a bit forced. You know, some of the dialogue is so forced. Everything else is forced, but the few moments it has to be genuine, I really like. But anyway, so that's it for this part. When we next come back, which will be God knows when, I'll have Olivia and Zane on to finish up Blazing Sword, take down Nergal, and put an end to this fiasco once and for all. But until then, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.